Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. Today I'm sharing a few cards I made using Spellbinders' brand new Be Bold color block release. I received 2 of the sets. I have the thank you and also the congrats yay. So there's 2 different dies for each set. The dies were designed to create a mini slimline size card. You could add it to a larger slimline if you want. So it's about 6 1/4 inches by 3 1/4 inches if you use that full panel. For my first card, I'm using a pattern paper collection from 49th and Market. This is their vintage Artistry in Teal. And this is a fun collection since there's a sheet of cut aparts, and I will be using a few of those butterflies. I selected 2 different pattern papers and cut out all the letters for the word thank. And I'm alternating the darker teal and a lighter teal for each letter. I have some dark teal cardstock that I'll glue all of the letters onto this piece. I find it easier to use liquid adhesive to attach all of the pieces. I'll start with the letter T to make sure to get it lined up in that upper left-hand corner. Once I have the T in place, I can add the letter H, and all of the letters will touch each other. You can also add in all those extra little pieces in between the letters, but for this card, I'll just have that dark teal cardstock show from behind. So once I have all those in place, I do need to trim down the very right side next to the K. I'll put some ATG tape on the back of this panel and layer it on some black cardstock. And that layer is an additional 1/8 of an inch. I don't want that layer too wide since I want to make sure this card will still fit inside a slimline size envelope. After I put my card front onto a card base, I'll add the word you, and I cut these out from some black cardstock. Decided to glue them down directly onto the card instead of popping them up. And I'm putting the word you in the lower right hand corner. I started with the letter O and centered it on the lower area of the letter N. Then I put the U and then the Y. Then I fussy cut out several of the butterflies from the paper collection. I have 1 in yellow and 2 in teal. And I did put some foam dimension on the back side. I'll put the smallest butterfly on the very right side of the letter U and put the other 2 butterflies in the upper right hand corner. I'm also adding a few gold gems. These are by Spellbinders. I'll put 2 around the butterflies in the upper left-hand corner and 3 around the word you in the lower right-hand corner. Then one final finishing touch, I decided to add a little bit of glitter to the butterfly wings. I'm using a clear glitter brush from scrapbook.com. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. This die set is so easy to use. If you need to create a bunch of thank you cards, this is perfect. So using that same thank you die set, I decided to make a patriotic thank you card. I've always been a big fan of using patriotic colors on my cards, and I think this card is perfect for thanking a service member on Veterans Day. I'm attaching everything onto a sheet of white cardstock, and I did cut it larger than the overall card will end up. For all those white pieces, I'm using some white shimmer cardstock, so it will have that little extra shimmer. I'm using some red and blue cardstock for the word thank, and I'm alternating the colors. So as I glue each of those pieces down, I'm making sure not to just put the letters, but also those little bits that go between the letters. And sometimes those pieces are fairly small. It's not too bad on the thank, but when I get to the congrats, there are some teeny tiny little pieces, but you'll see what I mean when we get to that card. I know it looks like lots of pieces, but this really was easy to assemble. I think you could quickly create multiples of this same card. So coming up on my final white piece next to the letter K, I'll set that aside for a moment. For the word you, I cut it out of some white cardstock and also some blue satin mirror cardstock. I'll layer the 2 pieces together with the white on top, and you'll see just a peek of that blue satin mirror cardstock from underneath. If I had only used the white cardstock for the word you, it really would have been lost on the front of the card. But having that little bit of specialty paper underneath really makes it pop. Once I have all of those glued together, I'll put an acrylic block on top for some added weight to let that glue dry. I'll adhere my card front onto a card base, and this time I won't have that additional cardstock layer. I'll put liquid adhesive on the back and adhere the word U in the center of the card this time. I'm starting with the letter O, get that one lined up nice and centered. Then I can add the U and the Y. And I decided to leave off any extra embellishments. That way if I need to mail these cards, I won't have to pay additional postage. So there's my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. It's a very simple design, but I really like how this one turned out. Using the shimmer and the mirror cardstock really adds a lovely touch. For card design number 3, I'll be using the other die set. This is Congrats, and it also has the word Yay with the exclamation point. I'm changing up the colors, and I'll be making a pink, white, and black card. I have 2 different shades of pink. The white is a shimmer cardstock, and then I have some regular black cardstock. Now for all those little pieces that go around the letters, I'm using the same 4 colors, so I'll just be rotating everything. And I did speed this portion up quite a bit. I find it easiest to start with the letter on the left, so this time the C, putting it in the lower left-hand corner on a piece of cardstock. And rather than just continue to add the letters, make sure to add all those extra little pieces that go between the letters, just to make sure everything lines up correctly. And lay out some of those tiny pieces first to make sure you have the correct piece. Some of those, not really triangles, but the little curves that go above the C and the O, they're very similar, but they do go in one specific spot. With there being 8 letters in the word Congrats, I could have done a pattern with the dark pink, light pink, white, and black, but I decided to only have 1 black letter and 3 of the dark pink letters. That way I could have that same dark pink on the outside letters, the C and the S. I did use more of the black for the larger pieces that go between the letters, so I think it still all balances out. So on my very last few pieces, now I can trim down that panel. Next, I'll add some paint splatter to the background. I'm using a metallic gold paint, and I'll also use some black paint. So nothing fancy on my technique. I'm just spraying some water onto the paint color, putting my paintbrush in there, and tapping it over my card. And the black, I had a little too much water on the paintbrush at first, so I'm tapping it off to the side on the paper towel. I didn't want to end up with really big splotches of paint. Once all of the paint is dry, I'll add my card front onto a card base. And for this card, I won't add that cardstock layer. Now I can add the word Yay, and I cut this out from some gold satin mirror cardstock. I also put some thin foam squares on the back side so I could pop it up. And these are very thin, so this card could easily be mailed without paying any additional postage. So I'm starting with the letter A, putting more on the right side of the G. Then I can add both of the Y's and then the exclamation point. This die set would be perfect for making graduation cards. You could customize it in the school colors for your graduate. It would also work well for a new baby card or a new job. I love that you can just change up the colors. You could use solid cardstock, specialty cardstock, pattern paper. There's so many different options. So here is my finished card, and again, I did make 2. Now here's another look at the 6 cards I made using Spellbinders' brand new Be Bold color block release. If you are interested in any of the products I used in this video, I do have links provided in the description box below. And Spellbinders does sell other word dies like this. I know they have a hello, birthday, Christmas, lots of other options. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.